Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Eric Carlson here. I'm running for Congress in the 1st Congressional District in Illinois. It is Monday evening, March 28th. Tomorrow we have our hearing to hear objections, petitions filed, and we'll be going down and I'll give you guys an update on that when we get down there. 4 out of the 5 Republicans were objected to when we filed our petitions. 3 of us by the same woman. So we'll see how that goes. But tonight I wanted to talk about, this is something I've been trying to get out for a couple days. I've just been really busy with getting the campaign up and running and ready to go here as we really get into campaign season. But I want to talk to you about something really important tonight, and this is one of my main issues, because if we don't have this, then we can't fix the other problems that we have in this country. We have what's become a ruling class, a group of people who go to Washington and they stay there for 20, 30, 40 years. They become rich, they get the perks, they like the life, and the voters, the people, become become secondary to them. We don't matter to them. It's just they come and they harvest our vote every 2 years, and then they go back and they do their thing. And of course, once you become an incumbent, it's very hard to get you out, because then the big money comes in and the big money goes to back you up, because then you're influenced by that big money, and those people will keep you there as long as possible. So I'm going to go over a few of the things that, and I've done videos on congressional reform before, but I wanted to do this one just to give people an idea of what the starting point should be. And this, again, I did this in the candidate challenge. This needs to be legislated. So I will actually bring this up in a bill. I will work with whoever will work with me there. The people right now, I actually signed a pledge from an organization that sent it out. I believe they have 95 candidates right now that have signed it, vowing to legislate term limits. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Term limits, 12 years max in Washington. I've done this before, talked about 12 years max is all anybody should go to Washington for. That's a combination of House and Senate. So if you were going to do 6 years in the House and you were a good representative, then your people from your state could elect you as a senator, and you would do one term. If you wanted to be a two-term senator and actually do 12 years in Washington as a senator, you should be an outstanding state rep or state senator. That's where you should make your bones, and the people should see you there and know that you have the capability of being a senator and representing your state if you're going to be there for two. But regardless, 12 years in Washington, that's it. You go home. It was never meant to be a career. It was meant to be for ordinary citizens to go there, serve, and then come back home and allow somebody else to come in there, fresh blood, fresh ideas, and not allow that corruption to sink in. And it just gets worse and worse the longer people stay there. And this is the main problem here. This is why we can't get things rectified, and this is why this country has become so divided, because it's the people at the top want you divided. If we're busy bickering amongst ourselves, we're not paying attention to what they're doing. Second thing is no pensions for anyone going to Congress. There's no reason you should go there. And if you're 65 years old and you go there for 2 years, you're entitled to a pension. That's BS. You're not getting that anymore. And this would be retroactive. There's no reason the American people should be paying people for the rest of their lives. And I believe it's 80% salary that they get. 80% of their salary, which salary right now is $173,000. There's no reason we should be paying for all these ex-congressmen, ex-senators, to be living high off the hog. They call themselves public servants. They're absolutely not. They're public leeches is what they are. So that would be retroactive. We'll sign that into the legislation. Anybody who doesn't like that, they can go pound sand. Salary. We went over this in another video. Salary should be tied to the U.S. median income for one person working full-time through a course of a year right now is just over $56,000. If congressmen want to make more money, they should make every policies that make it better for Americans across the board. Then you'll get a pay raise. When the median income goes up, you'll go up. So when everybody does better, then you'll do better. Not $173,000 for what we're getting right now. Lifetime ban on all lobbying. Once you leave Congress, you are not lobbying. You are not going to K Street. You are not coming back to. You will have no contact with Congress once you leave. You are done. That's it. You did your 12 years. You go home. Let somebody else worry about it. Go back into business. Worry about your family. Take care of stuff back home. Run for be a local mayor. If you want to help more people on that. But it was never meant for you to be there to make a career out of it. All security clearances cease once you depart Congress. These people, and this goes for the military. I'm going to do another video on the military reform that we need. These people that keep their security clearances so they have an ear in everything and a nose in everything once they leave there. That's how stuff gets leaked. That's how problems happen. There's no need for them to have a security clearance once you leave there. All votes, now this is when legislation comes to the floor, all votes must be in-person votes on the record. That means every single member of Congress, for every bill, when they call a roll call vote, you have to be down there, you have to vote in person, has to be on the record so the people of your district can see exactly where you voted on something. No more of this hiding behind these, the way they're doing it now. Where just a handful of people voice vote, and that's it, and they're done with it. No more of that. People need to see what's going on. They need to see their representatives and what they're actually doing. Number 7, reduce the power of the Speaker. Speaker of the House has far too much power. I watched Nancy Pelosi. She will not bring certain bills to the floor, Republican bills, investigations, things Republicans are worried about. She has like a 51 to 49% majority, a bare minimum, 9 or 11 seats right now. But she controls it like she's the king or the queen, I should say. I watched her when the Republicans said we have to have an emergency recall, we have to get Congress back into session for something. She refused to do it. You cannot do that. You can not have one person with that type of power. She's just a representative of one district is what it breaks down to. That's it. She represents the same number of people that I would represent here in Illinois. There is no way that she should have that type of power. You need a speaker, and a speaker should have certain powers, but not the power to control Congress the way they do. So the couple things that I would do, and this would be fair to both sides. Now this, I'm not sticking it to Democrats. Minority party, which after this November will be the Democrats, may bring a percentage of the bills to the floor for a vote. That means that the party in power cannot block everything from getting to the floor from the other side. A certain percentage, whether you want to say it's a 2-to-1. So for every 2 bills the Republicans bring to the House, the Democrats get to pick one of their bills to bring to the floor. Let's vote on it. If you got something, it might be a good idea, but we'll never know if you don't get there. Nancy Pelosi blocks everything Republican, then the Republicans want to block everything on the other side. If you have the majority party and the bill is bad, you think it's bad from the other side, then you'll defeat it on the floor. But not letting it be heard is not the fucking answer. Excuse my language. But you're blocking out the people that this is what drives Americans crazy. They don't even feel that their voice is heard because it's not heard. It gets shot down by the other side because everything is so combative. And believe me, I don't like probably 99% of the policies from the left, but I'll listen to you. And you know what? You may just surprise me. You may give me something that I didn't think about. Bring it to the floor. I'd like to hear the idea though, but if it's stupid, I'm going to tell you it's stupid and then I'm going to vote it down. But you should have the right to bring it to the floor. That goes both ways. Both ways. 1/3 of members can call Congress back into session. This goes back to what I was talking about with Nancy Pelosi. If there's something that 1/3 of the members of Congress, and it should be bipartisan, there should be people on both sides. It shouldn't just be one party calling back, just to cause mayhem. You have to be adults about this, people. If we can't trust you to do that, then why are we even sending you there? If you're that childish that you can't act responsibly and do something like this. But 1/3 of the members, if 1/3 of them say, hey, what's going on in Ukraine or whatever, just to give it for instance, we need to call an emergency session, we need to get back. And if the speaker knows she doesn't want to do it because for whatever reason, like Pelosi, I have no idea what's going on in her head half the time. But 1/3 of the members should be able to call Congress back into session. One person should not have that kind of power to keep out 434 other representatives of the people of this country because she, on a whim, doesn't want to do it. No seniority rules. Now, this is kind of I don't know how they're set up there. I hear a lot of stuff that goes on in Washington, but if I was elected to Congress or whoever gets elected from the 1st District goes there and they say, well, you're a freshman, and everything, so you just sit back and no. I represent 710,000 people just like you do. We are equals. We are on an equal footing, and you're not going to tell me where to sit, where to go, when to shut up, where to, sit. Screw that seniority stuff. That means absolutely nothing. That's the problem. You got a bunch of people that have been there forever that run everything and don't allow the new people to come in there with the new ideas, which is why people are sending them there, to get the old idiots out of there who are absolutely destroying this place. So Oh, this is kind of an add-on one, but background checks on all congressional staffers, and this goes back because we are in a war with China, whether people realize it or not. And the espionage that's been going on, and the Chinese are very good at this, just like the Russians used to be a long time ago. The Soviet Union, they were very good at trying to infiltrate, and but it was a professional game. The Chinese have been playing the long game for a long time. You saw what happened with Swalwell. He was sleeping with the Chinese spy. Dianne Feinstein, a senator, on the House, or excuse me, on the Senate Intelligence Committee, privy to all our top secret information. This woman, for I don't know how many years, it was over a decade, that she had a Chinese spy as her personal driver. So all the conversations she had on phones with him sitting there, his ears. People, you don't realize how serious this is. If you've never been in the military, you have no idea what operational security is, and most of these Congress people don't. They just and they're staffers. Each one of them has 18 staffers. So you do the math: 435 times 18, and then the Senate, all their people. I don't know how many staffers they get. I imagine they get more because they're responsible for an entire state rather than just a district. But that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that could potentially be compromised. A lot of people who just on a whim might say something in a bar. And this is stuff that's drilled into us as privates in Ranger Battalion, that you do not talk about any type of mission, any type of operational stuff. That's why it's called operational security. And the knowledge that these people are given in these intelligence briefings and things like that, this can really damage our country. So you have to make sure that the people that are going there actually have the best interest of the United States in their heart and in their head, because we are in a war right now. Whether you realize it or not, it's a soft war with China. You're on the verge of a possible shooting war with Russia. There's too much at stake for people to be playing around. So I just wanted to go over this. This is my plan for congressional reform. And the term limits bill, of course, these bills would be broken down. Like I said in my first week in Congress, the simplicity bill would be each thing that is going to be voted on should be on 1 or 2 sheets of paper. The average American should be able to read it, understand it, and repeat it back to you and explain it to you in 15 minutes. There should be no legalese. It should be in plain English, just like, the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It's pretty simple. It covers it. So there's not a lot of language that needs to be done. There's not a stack of documents that need to be, this is it. A term of anyone in Washington shall be a maximum of 12 years. That's fairly simple. That covers it. And that's not denying anybody's right to be there. That doesn't infringe on anybody's rights. We have term limit for the president. The people who tell you that, well, elections are term limits. Not anymore. They aren't. Not anymore, because big tech, big money buy these politicians off. They give so much money to their campaigns and the unions, and they keep them in there. These teachers' unions, they keep these guys in there in office. They bombard their districts with campaign ads, TV ads, radio ads, where people like me with no money, doing this on a whiteboard, you're not going to have a chance. The only way I have a chance at this is if Republicans actually come out and vote, and conservative Democrats and Democrats who don't want to be party to this woke BS that's destroying your lives, raising the price on everything on you. This is your chance to get out of that cycle. Again, my name is Eric Carlson. I'm running for Congress in the 1st District here in Illinois. And again, I don't want your money. I just want your vote. Thank you.